And then that is really the reason why, as we begin to look at a possible test site for a trial run, we looked close to Ice House, and then we discovered that the old East of Chicago pizza place was open, and so that's why we decided to try our first test service there, and we had that on May the 10th, so just a few weeks ago, and we had a wonderful experience. 50 people came. It was just an enjoyable time, sweet spirit there. As soon as the music began, we felt the Holy Spirit, and it really came together well. And Dave, I thought maybe you could kind of talk about that test service and how really order came out of some chaos from that whole experience.
Well, this experience, this is something I've never done anything like this before, and it was an opportunity. And our class, we did a lot of preparation, and on Friday night and then on Saturday, we just moved everything over to the old Eastern Chicago pizza place.
Like sound equipment, tables and chairs.
Yeah, sound equipment, tables and chairs, risers, and we had a stage.
Children's equipment.
And the 2 weeks prior, the worship team just came together and practiced, and they ended up sounding great, and everything went as planned. I'm trying to think of what else you wanted me to say.
The food and the coffee that was brought in.
We had people step up with food and coffee, and people. Jennifer Hyatt was able to cut lilacs. We had flowers on each table, and it just turned out to be a blessing. People stepped up from our group, and we were able to kind of create our own event from within, and it was ours, and I believe that the people took ownership of it. It wasn't something that Pastor Tim and I were able to just dish out for people. Everybody participated and made it their own, and I think that's what made it unique.
Yeah. And well, you may be asking a question. I know I've heard this question. Why would we want to have a new church, another church in Marion, where there's already 200 churches in our county? And my answer is twofold. First of all, this is not a new church. It's just a Hanfield church with a different campus. Same church, same board, same vision, same budget, same staff. It's just another worship venue, another site. We're still going to be very much connected. But the other question, or the other answer rather, is that we need double the amount of churches we have in Grant County. We know from statistics that probably on any given Sunday, 50,000 people in Grant County are not in church. Anywhere from 50 to 60,000 actually. So we're not getting the job done. Whatever we've tried as a church, as a universal church in the last 30 years hasn't worked. We've got to try new methods. And we also know that our community has not, as a church, reached the younger generations. So what is the model? What is the way? What is the venue to be used to reach this younger generation that's right now de-churched? We also know that most of the 20s and 30s something folks in our community probably have a church background, but they've gotten away from it, and they just haven't fallen away on accident. They have purposely left the church as boring and irrelevant and unnecessary. It's not just the church, but the younger generations believe that Christianity is unnecessary. So we have a challenge, but that challenge means a great opportunity to reach people in our community for the Lord. So why are we doing this? It's just so people can come to know Jesus. But we've also discovered, as Dave has taught me, that the younger generation, they don't like, they're not attracted to things that the baby boomer is attracted to. And the primary tool in reaching and influencing the younger generation is relationships. And Dave has talked to me about that. Why don't you share maybe your vision of using relationships in a way to leverage our efforts for the gospel?
Well, I believe that by doing this satellite ministry venture, it's twofold. There's two components. One is we are trying to share Christ's love with others and reach out to people who are lost and don't know Jesus and don't know his love. But the other is the group cohesion that we're developing by doing this together with our church. Our love for each other is growing deeper, and it's that love amongst believers, Jesus' love, that I believe in, for one, but believe that this is the reason why for our group of believers to deepen their relationships and their love and their closeness with God, but also to share that love with others. So when we each time we step out in faith, our group, our team, we are growing closer together, and other people are being added into our group, and we're growing in numbers. And I've seen it happen just in the past 2 months. We've grown, and we had new people, brand new people at the test service, and we had new people who just became regular attendees come also. So that's definitely good news.
Yeah, it is. So what can I do? What can I do to wreck the roof? What can I do to make sure my friends who are paralyzed in their faith, paralyzed in their lives, come to Jesus? What can I do to remove the obstacles that are between my friends who don't know the Lord and a saving knowledge of Jesus, to be whole, to be healed, to be saved? What can I do to be a roof wrecker for Jesus? What can I do? Hope you're thinking about that as we continue with tonight's program, our His meeting, home information session meeting. What can I do to wreck the roof?